what we can confidently predict, one is the salary level, which we know all of you will meet with. Second, that it's impossible for them to put a scale limit to it. And third, the third clue as to where government is going is that they have decided to take students out of the net migration figures. Now that's a political signal to say that structurally the numbers are so large that the system has to digest, because remember, it's not just you, it's nationals of 27 other member states who are already here, who are already economically active. They have to fit into a new system. So that system must enlarge, and it must give scope for, I think, dramatically increased third country migration. For the very pragmatic reason, and this is sometimes missed in debates about immigration and numbers, which is why mature countries have large-scale immigration. People often characterise that as a pull, that there is a magnetic attraction for a purportedly rich country. That's not the case. The reason that a country like Britain has quite high levels of migration is because it has an ageing workforce. The numbers, the mental arithmetic is actually quite simple to do. There are 35 million people of working age in the labour market in Britain. That's the highest number of people in work as a proportion of the total population that there have been since official records began in 1971. Those 35 million people who are in work are supporting 9 million school children and minors. They are also supporting 9 million old age pensioners. So that's a dependency ratio of 18 million to 35 million. Now, of those 35 million people, only 2.4 million of them are EU nationals of working age. 500,000 of them are Irish citizens. So actually we're down to just 1.9 million EU nationals. Now, the reason that those people are present is a demographic time bomb ticking under Britain. Because by 2030, we will have an additional 3.4 million old age pensioners. So if you add to a dependency ratio of 18 million, another 3.4 million, it now becomes unsustainable. So that's why an ageing workforce must top itself up with younger age migration. And the Office of Budget Responsibility said that if Britain wanted to maintain its trend economic growth, it needs 1 million additional migrants by 2030 just to stand still. So whatever the politicians say in a King Canute style about immigration politics, they can't hold back a demographic tidal wave, and those elderly people will need to be cared for. The workforce is not young enough, so you are strategically always going to be in the stronger position because you're new entrants in the labour market. And you must also understand that the numbers of people entering universities in the UK is now beginning to level off. So we're not seeing a growth in UK graduates who are potentially your competitors. So long term, between now and 2030, over the arc of your working lifetime, you are going to have a strategically strong bargaining position. And that's why I think you shouldn't worry about the vagaries of what politicians say. They will have to make decisions, they will have to make them before the 31st of December. So if this is the year in which you're taking your long-term career choices, you can tell your parents that you know by the end of the year precisely what the country's going to do. Whether or not that means that you know what you're going to do, well, you'll have to tell us what's the scale of your ambition, and we'll try and find the entry route into the immigration system which is going to be the most effective for you. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen. I guess I know I can call my mom today and tell her, Mom, I'm staying. Okay, so now I would like to invite our Pradana Fellows Alumni Association's representatives, Chi Yong. He is also the founder of Hot Movement, as well as Ms. Rachel Leong.